So hey everybody, I'm going to try to make this video as fast as I can before I get interrupted. So, Sunday night, I was given a message, and it was such a great message, but I was just, when I realized it, I was almost in tears, because you'll see why. But okay, so Sunday night, God gave me a message, but if 2 or 3 nights before, or mornings before, I was going through my Bible and I was reading, and I'm not going to tell you what these two subjects are, what these two things I was reading in the Bible are, but I just want to let you know that I was reading one thing in the Bible, and then in another part of the Bible, it seemed to not agree with the one thing I was reading, the first thing I was reading, and I was getting really confused. I was like, okay, well, is it this, or is it not? Is it yes, or is it no? I'm really confused. You say this, but then you say that, so what is it? And I'm like, and God had given me many messages already about what it is. I mean, like, yes, it is this. It's the first one that you read. Believe in the first one. And I was just like, I was having a hard time with it. The second thing was making me doubt the first. So I got frustrated, and I shut my Bible, and I put it down, and I kept asking God to please help me with this. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I'm really confused right now. So I took a breath, and I was talking to God, and I decided to go ahead and just not flip through my Bible, but just open it, prayed, and asked God to talk to me, help me with it. So I opened up my Bible and just laid my eyes down and started reading. And right now, to be honest, I cannot think of the verse, or the chapter, or what that this was in. I can't think of word for word, but I do know what God did say. The subject, the message was, to trust in Him. Just trust Him, that what He says is true. What I have believed all along, yes, it's true. Believe Him and trust in Him, and trust in His word. And but though the other thing was also from the Bible, it's not what I wanted to believe. It's not what I felt like. It was kind of going against what I my hope, what I had my hope on, and So, anyways, I'm trying to think. I'm sorry. So I'm stuck on this, and I'm trying my hardest to just be like, okay, I trust you, Father. I believe you. I'm hoping that this is really is you telling me to trust you. And it stuck with me for a couple of days, and it bothered me for a couple of days, and then Sunday came along, and sure enough, but in the books, the song books at church, you sing, and then after the song you had this little section after the songs, has like a few verses from a certain chapter or what. Well, we get done singing, and then the pastor he starts reading, and I'm just like, wow, what, really? This is exactly what I couldn't believe it. This is exactly what I was reading that had been bothering me for a few days. That's like, this is the part that's like, this is the part that I wanted. I'm like, but my big mouth, I was like, yes, that's it. But I couldn't help myself. After the pastor had read it, we said a prayer, and while we was praying, I kept thinking about it. I kept thinking, should I bring up, the other part that's like, well, it does say this, but we just got done reading. But over here, it kind of goes against that. What am I felt like it was going against that. I'm like, which one is it? And so, my silly self had to go, and after prayer I asked the pastor in front of everybody. I stopped him, and I was like, I didn't stop the prayer, but before he went on to the next subject, I had stopped him and asked him about it, and I read to him and I'm not gonna say where it was at, but I had read him a good big paragraph, and I was like, well, it says this, but it also says this over here, so which one is it? I said, I'm really confused. I told him how it had been bothering me for a few days. So what did he do? He explained it to me. And then, but the thing is when he explained it to me, literally, the only thing I heard, I think everyone around me, they either heard the same thing I did, because they weren't meant to hear it, or they heard what he was saying, and maybe God only blocked my ears from it. But I heard nothing. I heard meh, 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 bleh, bleh, bleh. That's all I heard. Sorry to sound silly, but that's what I heard. I was like, he got all these words, like he got an entire paragraph, seemed like, and just scrambled it up. I was so what? I wanted to ask him to repeat himself and to slowly explain it to me, but we were in church and I'm the one holding everyone else up. So I was like, yeah, thank you. Okay, I get it. That's what I told him. I said, okay, I understand. I get it now. And everyone seemed pleased with it and just went on. So, and it bothered me all day that I did not understand a word that he said, and I didn't tell anybody. I didn't even talk to him after church. He's a great pastor, by the way. He really is my most favorite pastor I've ever had. But it wasn't him, it was me. And then, all day, it bothered me. So, Sunday night, I'm sitting there, everyone's sleeping, everything, and I'm reading my Bible. And I can't stay out of my Bible. I'm just reading and reading and reading. And to be honest, for the life of me, I can't remember if it was something that I read in the Bible, if just, boom, all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, God said, now you need to know why you didn't hear what you was looking for. You didn't get what you was looking for. Actually, you did get what you was looking for, but you didn't receive it until just now. And I was like, just boom. I was just like, oh my God. God told me days before. He kept telling me. By the way, that day that God told me to just trust Him, I kept opening up my Bible, just trying to find an answer. I don't know how many times. Every time that I open up the Bible, trying to find an answer, one that I felt like was an answer. Every single thing I read kept saying, just trust me. Just trust in what I say and trust me. And what he tells me is not a lie. But that's what I kept coming across in everything. But I wasn't listening. So, anyways, Sunday night I'm thinking about it. All of a sudden it hits me and I'm just like, I understood why I didn't hear anything that he told me. And that was because I went to church, and when I was at church, I decided to put my trust in man. Even though he is a pastor, he is still man. And I decided to put my trust in him. And if he gave me an answer, then I was going to go with that and trust it. I didn't trust God. That I didn't trust in him to know that what he had given me was the truth. And by the way, I think I could tell you now that it had to do with the rapture. Was the rapture men would dream dreams? Where is it? What is it in? Is it in Matthew? Somewhere in Matthew? It talks about men would dream dreams and would have visions and stuff like that in the end days. And then that's what God had been giving me for so long. But then in another part of the Bible it says, in 2 Thessalonians, it talks about how when people talk about having dreams and visions and stuff, don't believe it. But I was so confused. I was like, do we believe it or we don't believe it? He talks about how he'll give us dreams and visions and stuff in the end days. I mean, I've had dreams of the rapture. He's given me messages many times about the rapture. So am I crazy? Or is it really, do I believe him? So anyway, so I'm going back and forth. Don't know which one to believe. But this whole time, he was just telling me to trust him. And I went and put my trust in man. That's why all I heard was want, want, want. That's all I heard the whole time he talked. I was like, that he was talking to me and trying to help me with it. All I heard was nothing. It was just like a bunch of blab. It was just, I don't know how to explain it. It's like God stuck his fingers in my ears or just scrambled up his words or what. Or I was holding on to his tongue, not letting him speak right. But anyways, and what we had read in church that made me ask this question, and that just threw me by surprise and just like, yeah, okay, was how God said he'll give us dreams and visions. The part that I have always believed it, that was like, yes. But anyways, so give me a second. My son is calling my name. Hold on. Give me a second. But yes, anyways, he that night, Sunday night, he let me know that that I didn't trust in him. That's why I didn't and maybe also, not only was he letting me know that I need to trust in him and not in man, it was also maybe I was going to be told something that that I wasn't supposed to hear, that would have killed my trust, my faith, and everything. I don't know. Pastor Keith, he's a great pastor. I love I love my pastor. He's such a good guy. He's the greatest pastor, I suppose. But maybe there's something I just was not supposed to hear. But also, I'm supposed to trust my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, my God, my Father in heaven. My time is about up. I'm about to run out of time. So, trust in God. Believe me. Don't put your trust in man. I love you all, and God bless.